Howdy, I'm going to take you through Access Chapter 3 guided practice using queries to make decisions. This is actually really challenging and you have to get your formulas just right in order to make them work. So we have two things going on here. We have syntax and we have logic. You can get your syntax correct and your logic can still be wrong. So if you have your less than or your greater than going the wrong direction, it will work syntactically, but the logic will not work. So I want you to really use a lot of caution, and you probably need to set some time aside so that you can focus only on this without distractions and complete this project in one sitting, because stopping and going back, you actually have your mind wrapped around it. And there's research that proves that every time that you are interrupted in a complex decision-making mode, it loses 15 minutes. So if you can set aside the time, don't interrupt me. This is the time that I am going to work on this one thing. You will find that you will work much more efficiently as your mind works down through the problem. When you're called out of it, you have to make several decisions, and that costs you a lot of time. So we're starting with the file that has our name in it, and in my case it says Student Exploring because I'm technically student whenever I do it. You have to hit Enable Content, and again I want you to not do so casually because it can put files on your computers and it can carry viruses. So it wants us to create a query using the query design. So I'm going to create query design. And it opens up a very familiar window. And from the customers table, so let's choose customers. And I'm going to close this. We can actually pull another table in there anytime that we want. So I can follow the directions straight through and not worry about it. If I need to pull another one in, I will. So from that, we want to include the fields company name, contact name, company name, contact name, contact title, phone. I just double click on them and they automatically go into the field that it does it in this order. And it's going to be important for you to put it in this order. And phone in that order. From the orders table, all right, it didn't tell me, I didn't pop it in, but guess what? I can drag the orders table right on over there. And from the orders table, we want order ID, order date, and shipped date. Order ID, order date, shipped date. There we go. It's just that quick. We want a calculated field named days to ship. So I can click in here, and the easiest way for me to do that is to use the expression builder. And the easiest way for me to open the expression builder is to right-click, build. And there's my expression builder. Now, my method for building an expression is to write the expression and then go back and change the name of it. And I think that that results in fewer syntax errors. And so that's what I would suggest that you do. All right. So I am going to right click and I'm going to click build. And the instructions tell me that it says order. Okay. So days to ship, it says hint, the expression will include order date and shipped date fields. The results will not contain negative numbers. Run the query and examine the results. So this is going to, if I click here and I expand this, so I've got tables, and I'm going to go to orders, and orders have ship date, shipped date, and order date. So if you think about it, I don't want a negative number, so the shipped date minus the order date is what I want. So I double click shipped date, puts it in there, and I put the minus sign, which I use the number keypad a lot, and it is on the right hand side up in the corner of the number keypad. So shipped date minus order date. And I just double click on it and it puts it in there. Now, this is where I haven't named it yet. Hit OK. Look, it called it Expression 1. I'm going to reopen Build just because I find this so much. It's not easier. It's more sure because your syntax, your spaces, your commas, your brackets, all of those things are critical to the success. And so it wants this to be called days to ship. And we're going to use camel case notation and we're going to have no spaces. And I'm going to click OK. And then it wants us to run the query. And there we go. Let's look at our days to ship field. Yay! There's no negative numbers. It worked. It's logical because I can look at the shipped date was 10/20. The order date was 9/20. That's 30 days. So I know that that worked. Hallelujah. So we want to save the query and I can, and let's see. We're going to save it as shipping efficiency. When I hit save, it's going to ask me to give it a name. And I'm going to hit OK. There we go. That is our first one using Expression Builder. You could actually type in. So I'm going to go back to Design View. You could actually type this in there. And if you could remember all of that syntax, hallelujah. Go ahead, go for it. So it's the table, exclamation point, the field, minus table, exclamation point, field. For me, I really like clicking and having it pop in there for me. Much better. And now it wants us to add a criteria in there that will limit the results to include orders that took more than 30 days to ship. Criteria is right here. So we go into this field and we put greater than 30. All right. And we want to add the quantity field from the order details table. So order details I need over here now. So I'm going to drag order details over here. And I'm going to add quantity. And then from the products table in that order, and sort the query by ascending company name. So company name, we are going to have to scroll this way to find company name. There we go. And our sort is ascending on company name. And add the caption days to ship to the days to ship field. So let's scroll back to days to ship, click on it, and caption is over here. So that caption wants to be days to ship, and we can have spaces in that. Okay, and then switch to datasheet view to view the final results and save and close. So I've got days to ship there, and I'm going to right click to datasheet view, and let's just have a look at it. All of our days to ship are over 40. Awesome, and it worked. We are now on instruction 7, and it says create a query using query design and add orders. So first of all, I'm going to go to create query design and add orders, order details, products, and customers. So orders, order details, products, and customers. And all I do is double click and it pops them into my window. And I'm going to hit close now. I've added my tables. That was instruction 7. Add a calculated field in the third. Okay, order date. Now, let's see. Add the fields order ID and order date. So order details, order ID, and order date from the orders table. Set both fields' total rows to group by. Well, set the totals row to group by. Where's the totals row? Okay, click on the sigma up here, and your totals row will show. And both of them are already set to group by, which was the instruction. And the next instruction, number 8, is add a calculated field in the third column named extended amount. So in the third column, all I have to do is right-click build. And I'm going to build this expression before I give it a name, because that's just the way that I prefer to do it, because I know my syntax will be perfect. So the instructions say that this field should multiply the quantity ordered from the order details table by the unit price for that item from the products table. So order details, quantity, times, and that's the asterisk, times the unit price for that item from the products table. So I'm going to double click products, and I'm going to double click unit price. Okay, we've got that. And format the calculated field as currency. So we close the expression builder and it puts it in there. Now I'm going to reopen it, but we want to format that field as currency. So I'm going to go over here to the property sheet, and I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to format it as currency. I am then going to open it in expression builder again, because again, this is the way that I prefer to do it. And I'm going to highlight the EXPR, and we're supposed to be naming it extended amount. And we want to change the caption to, okay, so I've hit okay there, my bad. So I want a caption in here that says total dollars. And change the total row for extended amount to sum. So we have a total row. We want to change this to sum. There we go. And now we want to add another calculated field to the fourth column and name it discounted amount. So I'm going to go to the fourth column. I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit build. I'm not going to worry about the name at the moment. The field should multiply the number of items ordered, the price per item, and the discount field. So number of items ordered, I'm going to open this, and I'm going to open tables, and I'm going to open order details. Quantity is the number of items ordered, and the unit price for that item, that's going to be on the products table, unit price. Guess what I did not do? It put expression in there, and I don't want expression in there. I want times. Unit price times the discount amount. And let's see, the discount amount is going to be oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong instruction. I apologize for that. Currency in the caption, let's see, the discount amount, the field should multiply the number of items ordered, the price per item, and the discount field. And the discount field, I think, is in the customers table. And this is the interesting thing, that if you don't see it there, you can most definitely, but there's discount. Okay, customers discount. All right, and it wants it formatted as currency and add the caption discount amount. So going to hit OK, and then I'm going to, if you'll look, it already has it as currency, and my caption is supposed to be discount amount. And we can put a space in here. And I have to go back and give it the name, so I'm going to go back to build, and where it says expression 1, I'm going to backspace over that, and I am going to type discount amount. And I'm going to hit OK. And there we go. And we want to set that field to sum. So total sum. Okay. So our next instruction is to run the query. Run, click it twice sometimes because the first time it doesn't seem to register. At any rate, so our discount amount did calculate, our total dollars calculated, and then it wants us to save the query as order summary and return to design view. So I can hit the save button, order. Okay. Oh, save the query as order summary. Okay. There we go. And return to design view. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to design view. So there we are back in design view. And then it wants to add criteria to order date field so that only orders between 1/1/2016 and 12/31/2016 are displayed. So this criteria is most easily written between greater than 1/1/2016 and then the pound sign is a delimiter for dates. So it's pound 1/1/2016 pound and pound 12/13/26 pound. And then I hit OK and I run it, and let's see if that is true. If I look at those dates, that may not be true. Okay, well, I wonder why it didn't work. When I go back and I look at this back in the build, I don't have a less than sign there, do I? So it was pretty confused. Okay. All right, so I had actually started out doing the less than and the greater than, or the greater than and the less than. If you're going to use between, you don't need greater than or less than. You just put between, put your dates in between pound signs and the second date and hit OK. Now when we do that and we run the query, hallelujah, it works. So there you go. We are then instructed to save and close the query, and if we hit X to close it, it's going to ask us, and we do want to save it. I don't think that we're using this one at the moment, so we might as well save it. Probably gave an instruction to close it previously. Our next instruction, number 11, says create a copy of the order summary query named order financing, switch to design view of the new query, and remove the discount amount field. So we're creating a copy of the order summary query. So order summaries, right click, copy, right click, paste, and then it wants us to give it the name, and the name is order financing. Okay. There we go. And now on order financing, it wants us to switch to design view and remove the discount amount field. So I'm going to go to design view. And the discount amount, I'm going to just click there and go delete columns. It was that easy. Now we want to add a new field using the expression builder named sample payment. This one is going to be a tricky one, but I know you can do it. Okay, build. So we are going to use the payment function with the following parameters. So we want to go to Functions, Built-in Functions, and we need PMT. And let's see, we're going to have Financial Functions. That's going to just narrow it down, make it a little bit easier. Payment function. So I put that payment function in there. And then it tells us that I want to use 0.05 divided by 12 for the rate. So if I click on rate, 0.05 divided by 12, and I want to use 12 times the number, use 12 for the number of periods argument. So I'm going to use 12. Now this is the very same payment function that we used in Excel. Now we want to use the calculated field extended amount for the present value. So I'm going to click present value, and that calculated field, let's go here to queries. Do this. It wants it from order financing extended amount. Okay, so something was wrong. Guess what? We really did not need to use extended amount from order summary. It really wanted us to use extended amount from our own table order financing. So if we click back here, let me go back to queries, and first of all, I want to highlight that extended amount there that I want to overwrite. So that all I have to do is double click and it will go, and I'm having a little bit of a hard time. It's going to pick up the comma, but I can add the comma back. It actually picked up both commas. So I'm going to go to order financing, and I'm going to put extended amount there. Okay, and I'm going to backspace over expression. Oh, pooey dooey, comma, extended amount. Backspace over that expression, comma. There we go. We're all fixed. Certainly hope so anyway. Now let's hit run. Okay, subqueries can't be used in the expression. Sample payment 0.06. Okay. Okay, so I'm troubleshooting our query. And I'm going to open it up and have a look at it and see if it looks like it's right, because it's telling me it's not. But what happens with Access sometimes when you change things? Look at this sum. That sum does not belong in there. And that is our problem. I don't need the opening parentheses if I remove sum. It just needs to be the payment. So let's hit OK on that. And then let's run this. and see, and it works. They are negative amounts. This is 125.84, and that's exactly what our instructions told us it should be. So we did everything right, but when you make a mistake, you go back, you try to change it. It does things to it sometimes, and you just have to look for it and ask yourself if some even belongs in there. And it's not a trivial task, that is for certain. Our next instruction, number 14, says to create a copy of the order summary named Order Summary by Country, and replace the Order ID field with the Country field. So we're going to create a copy of Order Summary. I right-click, copy, right-click, paste, and then I'm going to give it a new name. Oh, cancel. All right, Order Summary, right-click, copy, right-click, paste, and I'm going to give it the name of Order Summary by Country. Okay. And let's open it in Design View. And it wants us to replace the Order ID field with the Country field in Design View for a new query. So Order ID with Country, and Country is actually not in Order Details, it's in Customer and Country. There we go. And run the query and examine the summary records. There should be 5 countries listed. Run. France, Mexico, Spain, Sweden, and the UK. And switch to Design View and change the sort order so that the country with the highest extended amount is first. This actually requires some thinking. So we're going to order extended amount, and didn't want to do that. Sort by, so that we want it to sort descending if we want the highest amount first. So run. We've got the highest amount first, and we are ready to save and close and submit this. All right, congratulations. You've just finished chapter 3, and we have one more chapter of Access to go.